Monday, reaffirming U.S. commitment to the war in Afghanistan. The president, though, offered few specifics on just how that would play out, refusing to set a deadline for withdrawal and leaving the door open for more U.S. troops to go in. So, what's different about Trump's plan for Afghanistan, and will it work? Those are the questions we'll be looking at today in the debate. But first, let's take a look at Trump's speech.
Donald Trump has finally taken a decision on Afghanistan, and it's one that contradicts his earlier statements. As a presidential candidate, Trump called for a withdrawal of troops, but in Monday's speech, he admitted that this is easier said than done.
My original instinct was to pull out, and historically, I like following my instincts. But all my life, I've heard that decisions are much different when you sit behind the desk in the Oval Office. So I studied Afghanistan in great detail.
This research prompted him to step up efforts in fighting terrorists in Afghanistan, beginning with fortifying the U.S. military presence. There are currently 8,400 troops in Afghanistan. Trump refused to give numbers, but White House officials say an additional 3,900 troops could be mobilized. The U.S. president threw a thinly veiled warning to neighboring Pakistan, which has often been accused of being a terrorist safe haven. News of the troop increase drew praise from Afghanistan's chief executive.
I am sure that the announcement of the policy and implementation of it will affect the situation in favor of the Afghan National Security Forces.
The conflict in Afghanistan has spanned over 15 years and 3 U.S. presidents. Donald Trump has said the U.S. will work with the Afghan government as long as there is progress, but warned that U.S. support is not, however, a blank check.
Joining me for tonight's debate here on the set, political scientist Alexandra Andorra. Thank you so much for coming in to join us. Also with us live from Washington, military expert Michael Pregent. Also in Washington, senior Afghan political advisor Omar Samad. And from Kabul, France 24's correspondent Bilal Sawari. Welcome to all of you. Thanks so much for joining us for this debate. Michael, I'm going to start with you. We heard President Trump there last night in the speech and also in that piece just a moment ago, making a speech that if he himself as a citizen had heard it just a few months, if not a few years ago, would have made him crazy. What do you think military advisors said to Donald Trump to make him change his mind?
Thanks for having me. I think they used Iraq as an example. We saw what happened when we left Iraq. There was security backslide. There was a security void in the Sunni areas that Al-Qaeda had occupied before and had been defeated in during the surge. And when we left Iraq, you basically saw the security void and ISIS filled it. We know ISIS is in Afghanistan now. Not only ISIS, but the Khorasan group. You have Iran and Russia financing the Taliban, and the Taliban is continuing to attack American soldiers and Afghan officials in the country. And you just have to look at it, and when you're president, you have the responsibility to do something about this. You can't let Afghanistan become what it was prior to 9/11.
How would you say...
A country that harbors terrorists, sorry.
How would you say Trump's new strategy really is different from that of Barack Obama's, Alexander?
Well, I wish you would ask me that.
We don't have really an outline strategy, really precise and clear strategy. The speech was a little cloudy on the details, but the gist of it indeed is looking a lot like what the Obama administration did with the surge, and I have to remind people that the peak of U.S. engagement in Afghanistan was in 2010, so during Barack Obama's administration, and the pragmatism that we heard yesterday in Mr. Trump's speech also rings a bell when you've studied Barack Obama.
Michael, you wanted to weigh in on